Notice the jarring difference between dropping raw audio onto your timeline and experiencing a fully integrated cinematic soundscape. Listen, today we are going to outline the exact step-by-step process of turning flat, isolated audio files into a dynamic, professional mix. All you need to follow along is your standard digital audio workstation and a handful of raw sound effects. Simply dragging and dropping a file under your video leads to a sterile, amateur feel. Achieving emotional resonance requires mastering a structured workflow. Let's build that workflow right now. To build scale, break sound into 3 frequency tiers. First, a mid-range whoosh acts as the main body. Next, a heavy sub-bass rumble anchors the low-end foundation. Finally, high-frequency textures like crackling fire inject vital realism at the top. Step into your DAW and solo each of these layers independently to understand their roles. Then play them simultaneously. You will immediately notice a massive jump in the scale of the effect. Relying on a single audio file inherently limits how large a sound can feel. Frequency layering acts as the foundational architecture for creating larger-than-life cinematic moments. Now that we have a massive sound, we face a new problem: sonic mud. This happens when stacked layers contain competing low-end frequencies. A visual spectrum analyzer exposes where low frequencies from our upper layers clash with our sub-bass. To fix this, we apply a high-pass filter, surgically cutting out the competing lowest sections. For technical precision, you want to cut everything below the 20 to 40 Hz range on those upper tracks to clear space. It feels counterintuitive, but removing audio data actually increases the perceived power of your mix. Carving out that unnecessary rumble gives your dedicated sub-bass the headroom to punch through with absolute clarity. Even with a perfectly clean EQ, our current mix still feels disconnected from the visuals. That is because absolute silence does not exist in the physical world. First, establish the baseline ambient environment. Always lay down a continuous 30-second bed of room tone that matches the location of your scene. Next, we funnel the individual spell layers out of isolated tracks, merging them into a single convolution reverb bus. By selecting a long tail setting, we force every layer to mimic the acoustic reflections of a vast cavernous space. Acoustic space manipulation fuses disparate sound files into a unified event, occurring within a singular, believable reality. The spell sounds great when it hits, but a truly impactful sound effect must evolve over time to build emotional tension before the visual impact actually happens. Look at our timeline. We copy the reverb tail we just generated, reverse the audio file, and place it immediately preceding our main spell strike. This simple temporal trick creates an unsettling, unnatural swell that builds intense anticipation leading up to the hit. Leaving audio static makes a mix feel lifeless. To fix this, draw a rising automation ramp for both volume and distortion to coincide perfectly with that reversed audio swell. Temporal manipulation and automation allow the sound designer to dictate the audience's emotional journey through rhythm and intensity. Let's review the 4-pillar architecture we just executed: layering, EQ sculpting, acoustic space, and automation. By applying those 4 pillars, we've taken flat, generated clips and given them the weight and clarity of a professional mix. Now it's your turn. Acquire your own custom bass layers and immediately apply this 4-step process inside your DAW. Professional post-production is about mastering the discipline of sculpting raw material into a cohesive narrative.